Hey everyone, I know it's been super long since I last did a YouTube video, but I kind of want to get back into it, so I thought why not do a game introduction to something that I've just established and come across and I'm really enjoying. Basically this is called Gladiabots and it's a tug-of-war game, and essentially the premise of the game is to try and create the best AI and verse it against the enemy. So you're trying to program the best AI that you can do and beat the enemy, and it is super fun. So I thought get into it, show you how this game works, and then give you a bit of an introduction on how to create some really intricate AI intelligence, and it's really super fun being able to defeat your enemies. So we'll just stick with the single player for now, and we'll only cover the collection game mode. Essentially this game mode is all about collecting the resources and depositing it into your allied base. Really simple. It's a 4v4, and yeah, that's basically how it's going to work. So obviously this is my old sort of intelligence, so we're not going to use that. We're going to create a new one just to show you what it's like. Okay, so we're going to create a seeker intelligence, because what we want to go capture the resources. Now the way it works is anything on the left side is prioritized at the highest priority, and anything on the right is prioritized at the second priority, and so on and so forth. So let's say we got the resource, so we want to score the resource. So we're just going to add an action to do that. But obviously if we don't have a resource, then we need to go get the resource. So the secondary one then is to go capture the resource, and that's it. The very basic sort of intelligence that we got so far, and this will work perfectly well. So let's go ahead and apply this to every unit. Okay, and if we click on a unit, you can see it's triggered this one, and then once it's got it, it's going to switch onto that one and it's going to start scoring it. Obviously you can see the enemy is doing exactly the same thing. So if we fast forward time, you're going to see that it's just essentially it's whoever can get there first. Now obviously they are attacking us now, so yeah, there's that. We haven't programmed any aggressiveness, and you can see we've now switched off now because there is no resource and we can't do anything, so we're just dead in the water. So that's not great. Let's change that up a bit. Let's sort of make this our AI the better AI by making it more aggressive. So the first things first, let's go ahead and create a condition that if the enemy is attacking me, so me being the bot in question, we want to, first of all, if we are carrying a resource, we want to drop the resource first and foremost. We then want to attack the enemy that is attacking me. Not that one, sorry, that one. Attacking me. Sorry. We do need to set the distance, so we want a short and medium range. What we'll also do then is, just in case the enemy starts retreating, then we want to continue attacking them. So now we're going to go ahead and use this one, attacked by me, and we're going to extend that to the long range. So that means the moment we've attacked an enemy here at medium range or less, if that enemy starts retreating, we're going to continue firing at it even within long range allocation. Next part is we're going to make our units a bit more aggressive. So we're going to say if an enemy is carrying a resource and is in a medium location from us, we want to go over and attack those enemies instead. So once again, we could be carrying a resource, so we're going to say drop the resource. So that's priority 1. The next one then is priority 2, which is attack the enemy from a medium range when it's carrying a resource. We'll also need to head over to that unit just in case we're not quite close enough. Probably, yeah, no, we'll do that just in case. Carrying a resource, so we'll walk over. Probably not really necessary because these two conditions kind of confirm that it's within a medium range. Otherwise, what we're going to do, we're just going to default to what we had originally and say catch a resource and score a resource. Okay, very basic, but cool. Okay, but you know, let's put a new dynamic into this. Let's create a hunter. So a unit that will actually ignore going for resources and go straight for the enemy. So first of all, we need to make sure this thing survives. Each of our bots have shields and they will regenerate if not being attacked. So what we need to do, let's preserve ourselves. So if we're less than 50% in shields, we need to then flee the enemy that is currently attacking us, just in case. Okay, next one then. So we're going to do the same sort of thing that we did before, which is attack the enemy from a medium range. Medium range is the longest you can really do with a shotgun without it becoming absolutely useless. So we're going to do that, and the target will be attacked by me. Okay, next one then is the same attack, but we're only going to do this from a short range. From there then, we're going to say move towards the closest enemy. So that's it. So we're saying move to the closest enemy, attack that enemy. If it starts to try and get out of its range, keep attacking it for as long as it's in medium range. But if you lose shields down to 50% or less, retreat. Now we shouldn't need to do this because the enemy isn't going to attack us. Shouldn't do anyways. I'm going to switch him to Hunter, the shotgun. So as you can see, my shotgun now is tracking the closest enemy and going straight for it, whilst the other seekers are going for resources. So as you can see, we're in short range and it's now attacking that enemy. So this one is much more effective, much more aggressive. You could actually see that one was attacking the enemy at one point as well because it came within medium range. Probably won't be necessarily dealing with that now because that shotgun is slaughtering the enemy. It might get, oh no, it came close, but not quite. There you go, you just saw it engage it then. So if we fast forward that, you can see that, yeah, decisive victory, 6-0, the enemy couldn't stand a chance. So let's move on to a tougher level. So this one now, the enemy will try to eliminate us. So let's try and advance our hunter. Our hunter now may be attacked by the enemy. So let's try and get a little more intelligence. So first of all, let's get rid of those two schemes, because we don't really want to have that protocol. We also need to be concerned about if our hunter gets ganged upon by multiple enemies. So we're going to add in an enemy counter. And if the enemies are a counter me, where you have this exist, it just checks if it exists or doesn't exist. But we're going to use a counter. And we're going to set this to if there is 3 greater or equal to 3 enemies attacking me, well, we're gonna retreat. instantly. We're not even going to attempt to attack them. So we're gonna flee. And actually we're just gonna do a straight up flee as well. No, actually no. We'll set it where they're still attacking me. Okay. But now I'm thinking we need to do prioritized targeting. So we're gonna set, if a enemy is carrying a resource, we want to go to that enemy first out of all the other enemies. Okay? And we want to attack that enemy that is carrying the resource at a short range distance. But it still will extend to medium if it starts trying to retreat. But if there is no enemy carrying resources, then the next priority target would be if the enemy is at a distance of the closest resource within medium range or less. We're going to approach that enemy then. And then we're going to attack that one. There we go. And then what we can do from there is we'll then default then, just in case, move to the nearest enemy, and then attack an enemy at short range. So that one now has a bit more of a priority attack order, but we'll then go to the next one. So it's going to trigger from this, this, and this, so on forth. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like in this game. Now this one, the enemy is going to be a bit more aggressive. So you can see we're switching between the targets as it starts getting closer and closer to the resources. So this one is now the closest target that has a resource, so we're going to shoot that one. The enemy is starting to score, but we do have priority targets. So we were less than 50%, that's why we were backing up. Okay, now we're getting a little confused, and yeah, we're dead on that one. So maybe it might be wise to maybe tell that you can maybe retreat to the nearby ally. But we'll see how that goes. Okay, this is the next issue. We're being attacked, but we're ignoring it and trying to go for this one. So maybe we need to put a priority there. We'll go to the nearest attacking spot first. Okay, and we've lost that one. But that's fine. That was the first game and we didn't quite know what the enemy was going to do. So let's branch this out a bit and try and figure out what we want to do. So let's say if an enemy bot, not myself, sorry, if an enemy bot is attacking me, we want to then attack back. We don't want to ignore it. We want to attack that enemy attacking me, and we want it at short range, like so. But what I did notice is when we targeted an enemy that was using a resource, that had a resource, we were then extending it to a medium. So on this one, I'm going to actually say if it's carrying a resource, well, if it's not carrying a resource, then you can extend it to a medium range. If it is carrying a resource, then you know it's a passive enemy, so you can keep attacking at a short range, meaning you will kill it faster. I think that's a bit better intelligence. I think that's a little better. So that should work much better. So let's have a little look what that looks like now. So once again, we're coming in to target the units that are the closest. So this one is now see it's now plugging it now, and it's killing it much faster. Okay, now, okay, we do have an issue. We have a stop and start issue. Okay, that's not that great, actually. Let's take that off, actually. That was a mistake. So it was actually better to leave that on a medium allocation because it was stopping, starting, and it was moving back and forth. It was okay on the first one, then it was put in its position where it just kept shooting and then not shooting. You can see its accuracy is going down, so it's better to attack at short range, but in this case it was leaving its range. Okay, so for some reason we ignored that one. Okay, it's stuck again, that's fine. Well, this one should attack it, but it's not. Okay, I know why that's happening. We're saying we must be at a short range distance. What we failed to do is move to the enemy that was attacking me. That's why that didn't work. So let's do that again. We'll fast forward it. There we go. That's better. So now we're retreating. We've got a little retreat. This one's not going to be attacked yet, and then we've gone in to attack it. Now you notice we had two units that wasn't doing anything. I believe... Yes, I believe that is because we've told it to only attack units that have a resource such as that. So we need to have a bit more of an aggressive stance. So we want to attack that if it's within a short range. But we also need to target units. So if we say there is no resources, so the resources has been captured, then we want to go move to nearest enemy bot, carrying resource, and attack that enemy of nearest resource, and that should be fine. So if we go ahead, start that. our assault units don't retreat. That's another issue. So you can see these units are now heading towards us. There is no resources. So check that. You can see there is no resources, so we're heading to the next. But we've lost because we did great. But I'm actually going to take this down to another perspective, another way of doing it. So yeah, as you can see, we don't actually have a fleet in command in this, which is a bit of an issue. First of all, that's what we want to set in. We'll put in a missile. We want to say shield is less than 25%. And we want to flee from the unit that is attacking me. Okay, but what we also want to do is, well, we want to have this. We still want to have this in there. And if we are attacked, we still want to do this. But what we're going to set, we're going to go ahead and do the similar thing that the hunter has. So we're going to go after any enemy that is a distance, no, that is carrying a resource. We're going to go to that enemy first. So we want to go after the enemies that are carrying resources first. Like so. Now we don't really need to go after any enemies that are actually no, we'll go ahead and do that as well. So we'll move these over. Move that over. What we'll then do as well is, now we won't go too crazy. We'll say if an enemy is distance from closest resource is short, we're not going to say medium because we're not going in for proactive hunting. We're going to say go after that enemy close to a resource and attack that enemy. Like so. So now this is a bit more of an aggressive seeker, so if we do it, these now might start targeting the enemy and ignoring these resources. So you can see they've now changed. They're going after the enemy units. So we will be scoring stuff, but we're going after enemies. Now as well, they're going for the resources, but this one is now very close to this resource, so we can stop that now. Okay. Okay, so the enemy is still beating us at the moment. But we are putting up a tough fight and we won. Okay, great. That's amazing. So, there's a lot more we can improve on. So the enemy will now retreat. There's a lot more we can improve on, but I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the video here and we can cover a bit more of an advanced technique in the next video, and I'll probably actually go in and discuss how to make the best collection AI rather than just going from basics and advancing it so on and so forth. We'll probably just go into creating the best kind of AI you can do. So I'm going to end this video here, and in the next one I'll explain a much better AI usage. So thanks for tuning in, and if you like this sort of thing, give me a couple of likes, and then I know it's the sort of thing you're looking for. Thanks.